Well, the first question here, we're going to go ahead and poke some buttons right away here. This comes from Mark Favre. Does anyone on the Dirty Mo Media team have a habit that annoys you?
Oh, yeah.
Just getting right into it.
Let's just put it on out there.
We're going to be clear.
Rip the Band-Aid.
Okay, so Matthew, when he has his mic open and you hear or oh yeah, or like right in the middle of your conversation, like I'm talking with Mike and something else happens out of nowhere. Yeah, wears me out.
We're just
it's
just you.
Yeah,
solely
just me. But then if I'm quiet, have you ever noticed if I'm quiet and I don't say anything, he's said before like, "What? You don't have an opinion?"
I didn't say that.
You've said that before. But it's okay.
Mike,
Go ahead.
Mike, I want to hear what's he talking about.
Well, I mean, listen, he
it's
can
happened.
do that as the host of the show. Dale can say, hey, does anybody else have an opinion? He can ask that of me, anybody else. But, yeah, I mean, so I don't think that's a good defense, Matthew, is what I'm trying to say.
It's all good. I don't care.
Mike annoys me.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And he annoys me, too. But, hey, we're good.
Hannah doesn't annoy me.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I was going to say, we are still young into this.
I could probably, I could pick, I know it.
All of our staff in here are very annoying how quiet they are.
Well, if there's an annoying trait, that's a good one to have.
Yeah.
They're just like statues. Super annoying.
They just stand there and stare at you.
No, they don't add no conversation.
Dustin,
debate.
Dustin usually knocks one thing over
I can't
a show.
even get them to laugh. I mean, can't even get a smile. Can't even smirk. Oh, wait, we got a couple.
Yeah.
They're breaking character.
Oh,
So
man.
Mike annoys the hell out of me. We walk in today wearing the same shirt. It's a Dirty Mo Media hoodie. I mean, he literally made these for us to all wear, and he walks in and goes, I'm changing.
And then he just changes it into an all black polo.
Boring.
It annoys me that he literally considers the idea for us to wear the same clothes, the same shirt on the same show. See, this is a beautiful thing. It's the circle of life. I annoy him for wearing the same shirt, and he annoys me for wanting to continue it that way.
It's like a marriage. It's like a marriage.
Yeah, it is. We
well,
spent a lot of
I
time
got
together.
it.
That's
Hey,
very true.
Hey, I got another one.
What's another one?
Mike annoys the shit out of me when me and him are doing the open segment, and he starts talking and starts like he's getting into his point, right? We're either debating or agreeing on something, and he starts getting his passion on, right? And he starts talking to Matthew, and I'm like, we're at the table. I'm like, he'll do a whole open segment and not once look at me during the time that we've talked about this, Mike.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was a thing that I've gotten better at that, though, right?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
I'm just so good looking. It's tough.
Well, he'll get to
not
where
look at
he's
me.
like it's like he's having a conversation with Matt, where the conversation really started right here.
Well, it's because I heard. I thought that's my cue to go look at Matt and go.
I got you. Wait,
That's not the thing that annoys you the most about me.
what is it?
You get mad when I don't text you back immediately.
God, I hate that. Who doesn't love? Who doesn't?
Right.
Get
I
annoyed?
hate that.
You're a hard person to get a hold of
Mike
sometimes,
is that
though.
way with everybody.
Hey!
It's not just you, Dale.
No, it's not.
It's not.
When I first got brought on for Door Bumper Clear, I remember I did the polite, hey, Mike, email, and it'd be like 5 days, 6 days, a week. And then I'd be like, hey, Mike, just following up. And then they were like, dude, just call him. So I was like, okay, well, I'll send him a text, right? So I don't want to bother him. Nothing. And then I get a phone call and it's, hey, Hannah, sorry, it's been busy. And then it's usually like yesterday, about 15 minutes before he gets to the point.
Right, when I finally talk to you.
Yeah,
right?
then you're like, okay, so why I'm calling you is I'm like, nice to talk to you too, Mike. Thank you.
Hey.
You're a hard guy to get a hold of sometimes.
That's not true. I'm just not good at texting. I don't multitask very well. But Dale, it's not just you.
It's a lie. He multitasks like hell. That's all he does. Every day he's a multitasking.
Not when it comes to, I can't multitask texting.
Nope.
No.
Mike is not a great communicator in text
No.
form.
No, but I have admitted that for years. I mean, I don't like texting.
You can
There's
walk
a
I don't
classic
like
Mike
it.
move
You can
here.
walk into his office and get locked in there for an hour on a topic or conversation. Great communicator in that form.
Right. I just don't like texting. First of all, because I'm so meticulous, I hate grammatical errors, and texting is going to autocorrect everything.
I'm full of that.
And it doesn't bother most people, but it's like I'm OCD about that, right? And then the other thing is that there's no tone involved in texting. It's like you go, "Oh, is he mad? Why is he mad? He didn't use an emoji, so he must be mad." And it's like, "Oh, wait, that's actually not true." And so it actually gets you off course of points. I just don't like texting. I'd rather just talk to somebody.
You know what the classic Mike move is? When you're trying to get a hold of him for like 3-4 days, and then when you do get him hold of him, his first words is, "Man, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a week."
I do that to Matthew.
Man, we just poked some buttons with that question. That was fun.
It was
All
fun.
right. Next one here is from Jason Fields. I want to know if Dale still has those racing shoes from Adam Petty he had back in 2001 when he showed them on MTV Cribs.
Yeah, I do. I've got all that stuff. I don't never get rid of nothing. So I got a warehouse full of bins full of things. So for sure, yeah. So what happened was we were at South Boston racing. And I have no idea how or why, but I didn't have any shoes. And something had happened the week before where I wore my shoes home, or they didn't get back to the truck. Something happened to where I ended up taking my shoes to the bus, and then we went to South Boston and didn't have the bus, so the shoes were on it. I don't remember, but I went. I asked, I guess he was maybe one of the first people I saw, and I was like, "What size shoe you are?" He's like, "I'm going to let him." I'm like, "I need to borrow some shoes if you got them." And he had a pair.
This one comes from Josh English. He says, on an earlier podcast, you talked about car numbers and how you and Dad thought that they should be slanted forward. The numbers on the JRM cars are now slanted back even when you drive them. Is that per sponsor request or just personal preference?
It's a brand thing, so brand continuity across the board is important, I think, and that's the approach that Junior Motorsports takes. So this number leans the same way no matter what side of the car you're looking at. So on one side of the car, the number's actually leaning forward, but on the other side of the car, it's leaning backwards. But the lean never changes no matter where you are looking at the car. Personally, I don't love that. I think that they do that at Hendrick. I don't know for sure. We got a diecast maybe that'll show, but I remember I walked into we had the numbers leaning forward on my 88 car at Hendrick Motorsports. I walked into the shop and it's like January and my numbers were leaning backwards. My head exploded.
He ain't lying.
I was like, and now forgive me, I'm going to be a bit of a diva here, but I was like, who in the hell leaned my freaking numbers? And I'm not going to find out about it walking into the shop, and it's on the car. And so I figured out who it was. It was Marshall Carson. He's kind of like the GM, right? And so I'm like, man, Marshall's a good guy. We got a great relationship. How in the hell did this happen? So
why would you hurt me like this, Marshall?
I called him and I was like, dude, what's the deal? And he's like, well, we want them all the same, brand continuity. We want them to be like the other teams. And I was like, my damn numbers are leaning forward. It's like, this is not even a conversation. And we ended up getting it changed back. But I couldn't believe it. But I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do on the current cars or what they were doing on my teammates' cars. When I was racing there, but they leaned back on one side. But I don't know if they did it, whatever. But the idea really is that my dad would say that when you run, right, when you take off running across the parking lot, do you lean backwards? You run leaning forward. And that's it looks faster. That's the way you hit when you're running somewhere, going somewhere. You lean forward when you're doing it, and that's the way numbers should be. It's his opinion, and I feel the same way when I see a number leaning back. It's like it looks strange to me. It just does. Personal preference, no right or wrong. I guess it's the design of the paint scheme and graphics and so forth. that may depict on which way the number needs to lean. A leaning forward number on a car with certain types of graphics is going to look weird. Leaning back number might look better, depending. So, anyways, like, see this Wrangler car right here, right? You got that blue and yellow stripe. It's the same angle as the number. That works. If that line is angled backwards, maybe the number needs to lean back to look better. But Dad always wanted them leaning forward. I do what Dad does. What Dad says is right.
All right, last one here for today's Ask Junior. It's from Blackford. If you could design a racetrack for the Cup Series from scratch, what would it be like?
A design a racetrack from scratch.
Yeah.
It's hard to answer this question because I just want to bring back tracks that I liked, right? And I answer this the same way every time, and I'll answer it again. But original Atlanta would be my 1.5 miles. So we need a 1.5 miles that doesn't have a dog leg.
That's right.
And it has more turn than straightaway. So original Atlanta would be my 1.5 miles, and asphalt, 1985 Bristol would be my short track.
So you don't ever have a fantasy in your head of like what you would build?
Those are it.
I'd
build them.
You'd build them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that is it for Ask Junior this week.
So we want to thank Xfinity for supporting the Ask Junior portion of this show. They are, proud premier partner of NASCAR, and their Xfinity XFi Internet is fast. It's reliable because I know I'm a customer, been using it for a long time, and I'm very happy about it. But we appreciate everything they do for us here at the Dale Junior Download, and also everything they do for NASCAR. So thank you, Xfinity.